Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to share with you guys how you can bullet journal on a budget, some budget-friendly bullet journaling supplies, and also some spread ideas for lined notebooks. So the reason why I wanted to make this video is because I went through some of your comments and I've noticed that some of you guys mentioned that you don't have a nice notebook or you don't have a certain type of stationery. Well, I'm here to show you guys that bullet journaling is not meant to be expensive and you do not need to have this specific notebook or this specific pen to start the wonderful journey of bullet journaling. And you can just start right now with the supplies that you have at home. So now let's begin. For the first page, I'm recreating the cover page design that I did for my July bullet journal setup, and I'm just using a regular black pen to write down July in cursive. So over here, I'm going to show you guys how you can do calligraphy without a brush pen, and this is called faux calligraphy. So what you're going to do is just identify the downstroke and upstroke of each alphabet, and then you need to add another line beside the downstroke. Just remember that it's the downstroke that you need to add another line with, and do not add anything for the upstroke. Just leave it that way. For example, the letter Y, it starts with a downstroke, so I'm adding a line beside it, and it continues with an upward stroke, and lastly a downward stroke. And once you have finished adding the lines, the next step is just to fill in the empty spaces between the lines. And there you have it, calligraphy without a brush pen. So now if you want to spice up your spread, you can just use highlighters like these, which are the ones that I use for school. But there is another choice besides these highlighters, and that is Crayola Super Tips. And they come in a bundle of 10, 20 and 50, and I think it's quite affordable considering the range of colors that they have. So now flipping over to the next page, we are going to set up our monthly log. So what is the monthly log? A monthly log is like an overview of the whole month, and I usually use the calendar box layout in my dotted notebook, but for lined notebooks, I find it very hard to create the calendar box layout. So I'm going to show you this layout, which is so much faster and easier to set up. So all you need to do is just write down the days of the month vertically, and the space beside the numbers are for you to write down your events or tasks. And now at the top, I'm just using my highlighters and my black pen for some floral decoration. Now the next page over here, it is a monthly goals, tasks and growth spread. So this spread is used to write down our monthly goals, tasks and growth, and also to keep track of all of them. And this is optional, you guys can choose to include it or not include it into your setup. It's up to you. And what I did is just I divided mine into 3 sections for each of them, and I just write down the numbers from 1 to 3 for each category. Now moving on to the next page is my all-time favorite things to check out page. So this is a spread for you to write down like maybe a book that you want to read or a movie that you're interested in watching. Just anything that you would want to check out. So now I'm just dividing the page into half, and I wanted to have 2 rows, so I'm counting the number of lines and just dividing it by 2. So if there's like 16 lines, 16 divided by 2 is going to be 8, so each row is going to have 8 lines. And another tip for the highlighters is like using it to make some sort like a watercolor effect and just writing the text on top. So the next page over here is going to be our gratitude log. So a gratitude log is for you to write down the little things or the big things that you are grateful for. So for this spread, I'm just writing the numbers in a vertical straight line, and if you are wondering how to use it, you will just need to write down the event that you are grateful for beside the number. And I guess that's it for the gratitude log. So now that we are done with the gratitude log, let's move on to making tracker spreads. And we are going to start out with a habit tracker spread. So in my opinion, I think it's so much more easier to make the individual habit trackers in dotted notebooks, but it is still manageable in a lined notebook. So there's 7 days a week, and we are going to give each day 1 centimeter of space. And there's usually 4 to 5 weeks per month. So for July, there's 5 weeks, so we are going to allocate 5 rows for each week. Now, once you have made the boxes, you can just write down Monday to Sunday on the first row. So now I'm just making another individual habit tracker below the first one. And I think for line notebooks, it is only possible to use this layout because if we are using the graph layout, there's not going to be enough lines for 30 or 31 days. Maybe it's enough for some notebooks, but mine over here only has 22 lines. And to use the habit trackers, you can just draw a symbol or color the boxes if you did that habit on that day. Now, moving on to the next page is going to be our mood tracker. I decided to make the mood tracker very simple and easy to set up, so all you need to do is just measure 1 centimeter of space between 2 lines and write down the days of the month in front of the 2 lines. So to use the mood tracker, all you need to do is just fill in the empty spaces with some colors. So if I'm feeling happy on the 1st of July, I'm just going to color it blue. So now that we are done with our mood tracker, let's move on to my trusty expense tracker. For those of you who do not know, an expense tracker is for you to track your expenses and income. So normally I will divide mine into 4 columns, which is the date, the details or description, the plus sign for income, and the minus sign for expenses. And you can also total everything up at the bottom of the page. Now, the last spread that I'm going to show you is a weekly spread. For those of you who do not know, a weekly spread is for you to write down the events or tasks that is needed to be done within the week. And here I decided to show you guys how to do a 1-page weekly spread. So I divided the page into half and then into 4 rows. And now I'm going to write down Monday to Sunday in each box, and as you can see here, there's an additional box at the bottom right, so you can just choose to use it to write down your events, tasks, or even notes. So I guess that's all for this video. I hope that it was helpful, and remember to keep in mind that you do not need the fanciest notebook or stationery to start bullet journaling. Just start now with the supplies that you have and enjoy every moment of making the spreads. So if you like this video, remember to like, subscribe, and follow my Instagram at lootengstudio. And lastly, I wanted to mention that I have started my Patreon, and you guys can check out the link in the description box below.